This girl, my heart is literally breaking. Today, we are looking at Releasing 10 by Chloe Walsh, which is book 6 of the Boys of Tommen series, but it's also a standalone book. And guys, I'm completely shattered. This book shattered me. First of all, it's heckin' long, like, whoa, heckin' long frickin' book. But we're following Lizzie's life from start to finish, which is one of Shannon's friends. And the first thing that we learn about Lizzie is that she is bipolar, okay? She has been, you're born bipolar. We're seeing how it's played out in her life from day one, okay? So we get to see her when she's like very little, right? Like a little girl. And we're seeing how it affects not only her, but also her family. You know, her mother is sick. Her father doesn't really know how to handle Lizzie's condition. Her sister, is the typical, older sister, right? Like, I hate her. She ruins everything. Classic, right? But what we see with Lizzie is that she is desperate to please her family, right? She knows that she has something wrong. She knows something's wrong with her because, her father and her sister are always angry with her, and her mother goes to great lengths to make her feel loved, right? But Lizzie is desperate to please, especially her father and her sister. She's desperate to make them happy because she knows that she is part of the problem. And so she's basically been conditioned. She's basically been conditioned from day one to please people. She's been conditioned to make people happy. I'm part of the problem. There's something wrong with me and I need to make people happy. I need to be fixed. There's a problem with me and I need to be fixed and I want to make people happy. And that naturally leads to the bigger issue, right? The bigger issue, which is Mark. This absolutely crushed me, okay? This absolutely crushed me. So Mark is Kiva, that's how you say that name, okay? Is Kiva's boyfriend, and he starts coming around when Lizzie is very little, okay? Like a little girl. And the only good scene with Mark that we see is the first scene with Mark. The rest, well, folks, we see one of the most horrific monsters that humanity can create. This is a child molester, okay? This is somebody who is forcing himself on a child and basically brainwashing a child to think that this is good, to think that they want this, to think that he's brainwashing her. He's brainwashing her. Mark is appealing to the things that Lizzie, to Lizzie's problems, right? Mark instantly understands Lizzie has an issue and Lizzie is wanting to please people. Lizzie, right? He instantly understands Lizzie. And he starts to tell her that he is going to fix her. And he is convincing her. He's convinced her and brainwashed her into thinking that what he's doing to her is what is fixing her. He has convinced her of that. She thinks that, okay, what Mark is doing, it makes me feel better. I hate it, but it makes me feel better and it makes my bipolar issues go away, okay? And so she's brainwashed into thinking this. And she grows up, again, hating the things that Mark is doing to her, but having this belief that it is what is fixing her, okay? And she sort of created this mind palace, right? She's created this mind palace where it's not real, right? It's not real. It's a bad dream. And Mark is a monster, and right? And so she's created this palace and this disconnection with her life to where it's it's a nightmare and this isn't actually happening to me. And then later on, she convinces herself that the trauma and the abuse didn't happen to her, but that it was happening to Kiva, right? She tells people that it was he was doing these things to Kiva, and he was she convinces herself that none of that was happening to her, that she's having a bad dream, but that he was doing it to Kiva. I don't think he was ever doing anything to Kiva. He was always doing it to Lizzie, and Kiva found out, and Lizzie was able to somehow convince herself that Mark was abusing Kiva the whole time and not her. Oh my goodness. And then on top of the Mark situation, this one actually sort of confused me. On top of the Mark situation, we have the woman that Lizzie keeps on seeing. Now, I am 100% convinced that the woman is her crazy aunt that her parents are talking about at the beginning of the book. The one that was that took Lizzie to the river, to the lake or whatever it is. And the only reason I say that is because Hughes sees her too. Unless Hughes also crazy. Hughes sees her too. And so it's this woman that appears to Lizzie is not a figment of her imagination. I think it is her aunt, which would be her father's sister. I'm convinced that that's who it is, but we never really gain clarity on who the woman is. We know who Mark is, okay? I know the whole time that Mark is the monster, but we never really gain clarity on who the woman is. All in all, here's what I have to say. Yes, Lizzie is definitely bipolar, right? Like, definitely bipolar. People are able to function and be bipolar, okay? Like, that is, like, you're able to function. There is a way to function in that. But there is so much happening to her that is basically a result of neglect. She has bipolar, and then she's been abused by people. She has bipolar, but she's been neglected because, her mother is also sick and her father is away, and right? Like, there's so much neglect and abuse as a result of that neglect. She tries to say things, she tries to say something, but everyone tells her, you're just imagining it, it's not real, and it's just a symptom of you not taking your meds. And so she starts believing them, and it just rolls into this massive issue where it's like, she doesn't know what's real and what's not. She's trying to tell people what she's trying to tell people isn't true because she's convinced herself that something else is true, but she actually, this is just a knot of a mess where it's like these things have happened to her and they've made her become this certain way, and she tries to communicate it, but people don't believe her, and so she twists it more in her head, and it just creates this massive hole and this massive problem that it is impossible for her to get out of, okay? Everyone treats her this way except for Hugh, okay? Hugh believes her, and this is the heartbreaking part. This is absolutely the heartbreaking part. Hugh is 100% available to her, but she doesn't know what's real and what's not, right? Again, she doesn't know what's real and what's not. And so throughout the entire story, I'm waiting for her to say something to him, right? I'm waiting for her to say something to him. Anything at all, right? Especially when it comes out that Hugh sees the creepy woman too. I thought, well, maybe she will come out and say, this has been happening to me with Mark, right? Like, maybe it'll come out. Oh, no, she keeps saying that it's a monster in her dream because she's convinced herself that it's not Mark and it's not real. It's a monster in a dream. And then after the death of her sister, she convinces herself that, he was doing things to my sister. All of the things that she has done, all of the things that she starts doing, it has absolutely no explanation. It has no explanation. People believe to some degree that, Mark was doing these things to Kiva. She never comes out and says Mark was doing these things to me because she doesn't think that he was doing them to her. He doesn't. Oh my gosh. Hugh doesn't know any better, right? Hugh, it's not like Hugh is out here like, I know better, right? He's a teenage boy. He doesn't know any better, okay? And so he believes Lizzie. And he's like, yes, I believe that you're having these dreams, and I believe that you're seeing this woman, and I believe, he believes her. He believes precisely what she is telling him, and so does she. She believes it. No, she's not telling the truth, but she completely believes what she's telling him. But it's Lizzie's confusion that ends up being the downfall of their relationship, okay? It ends up being, this broke my heart. This absolutely broke my heart. Lizzie is completely going mad, right? Lizzie is going mad. Everything is crumbling around her. Her confusion and her hurt clouds her mind, right? It clouds her mind, and the things that she's convinced herself of in order to cope with the trauma and the neglect and the abuse that she's endured, the things that she's come up with cloud her mind and make it impossible for her to explain herself to Hugh, and the things that she's endured but hasn't said anything, right? She needs Hugh. She loves Hugh. And the same thing with Hugh, right? Hugh loves her and Hugh wants to be with her. She loves Hugh, but her mind has been manipulated in more ways than she and Hugh even realized, right? It has been manipulated in ways that it's she was too young to realize it, and Hugh was absolutely unaware. And so she has been manipulated into a position that they have absolutely no idea about, and they can't control it, and she can't control it, and it's hurting Hugh, and it's hurting her. And listen, I cannot blame Hugh for breaking up with her. She does betray him, right? She does betray him. And so I can't blame Hugh for looking at that and saying I can't be with you because you're hurting me, right? You're hurting me. And so you can't blame him for that. He has a good reason. And he didn't know who she was, right? He doesn't know. And she's constantly, she's got all of this baggage. She's got all of this, stuff going on that he doesn't know about. She doesn't know about. And it's tearing him apart. And that was the moment that was like seriously driving me crazy, because it felt like she was so close to understanding what was happening to her. And it felt like she was so close to understanding what Mark had been doing to her. It was like she was on the cusp of it, right? It was right there, but she just couldn't quite get there. And it was that was breaking both of their hearts, right? It was the fact that it was like she could not understand what was happening to her. And when she tried to explain, it was like it sounds like another delusion. It sounds like another delusion, and people tell her that it's a delusion, and she believes that it's a delusion. And I mean, it's just it's a mess. It's an absolute complete mess. And she eventually claims, oh, I went and I got help, right? I went and I got help. But I have to wonder, it's like, because she leaves the hospital that she went to get help at, and nothing has really changed with her, right? It's not like she's had these realizations of what was happening with her. Nothing has really changed. And so I have to ask myself, did you actually get help? Did you actually get help? Because I mean, it's not like she left the hospital and it was like, oh, I understand what happened to me now, and I have clarity now. She doesn't have that. It's basically just her going through the motions. And, she returns, she just becomes more isolated, right? She severs the relationship with Hugh, because she realizes that it's like, I've hurt him and I can't stop hurting him. And she's come to the conclusion that she's unsavable, that you can't save her. You can't fix her. You can't, right? She can't be healed. She can't be mended in any way. And so she's convinced herself of that, because it's not like the hospital helped her. It's not like nothing has helped her. Nothing has helped her. Here's my question. And I mean, this might be revealed to itself once I read the other books. Like I said, this is the 6th book. And so I'm sort of reading them out of order, but they are standalone. Okay? They are standalone. My question is it ever going to be revealed to everybody what actually happened to her? Okay? Because I'm reading this, and I'm thinking, like, she's convinced that Mark, or the monster, is going to come back. Nobody is listening to her. She's crumbling, right? Like, is it ever gonna come out? Is it ever gonna be revealed? Is she ever gonna realize that it's like, oh no, this was actually happening to me and it was Mark, and she's gonna tell somebody and they're gonna believe her? Is that ever gonna happen, right? Is that ever gonna happen? Because I'm sitting here like aching for it to happen. I'm sitting here aching for somebody to realize what was happening, right? Because Kiva did. Kiva realized what was happening, and Mark killed her. Okay, Mark killed her. We know that because Mark is a monster. Okay, Mark is a freaking monster. And so we know this, and it's like Lizzie knows it, but she's twisted it up in her head. And I mean, that's the thing, is that it's like, is it ever going to be revealed? Is she ever going to understand? And when she does, is she going to say something and people are going to believe her, right? I mean, this also, are we ever going to figure out who the creepy woman is? I'm like 99% sure it's her crazy aunt. But this, I mean, sure, I am torn apart. I mean, I'm torn to pieces that her and Hughes' relationship fell apart and they're not together. But there is a really big part of me that's just like, man, this girl's life and this girl's situation has got to see the light of day, because this is horrible and this is heartbreaking. And I mean, that more than anything else. And I mean, I'm convinced that it's like, if Hugh knew, and if it was made very clear that, she's telling the truth, Hugh would have a very different response, because he's very protective of her and he's very, like, he loves her, right? And so there's just so much of me that it's like, is this ever gonna come out? Is this ever gonna come out? I really hope it does. I really hope it does, because this story, this bothered me, okay? This really did bother me. Definitely read this with, be in a good place when you read this, because you will be in a bad place when you get done reading it. Beautiful story, good story, great story. I mean, this series by Chloe has this is good stuff. It's disturbing. It's very disturbing. Beautifully written. My I am begging for something to happen. I'm like, can we have another book? Can we have another book here for Lizzie? Because this needs to be rectified in some capacity, and I'm very unsatisfied. And I'm crumbling. Those are my thoughts. What are your thoughts? What are your thoughts? I mean, I don't think you can read this book and not be heartbroken. So let me know your thoughts in the comments down below. I would be fascinated and intrigued to hear them. But that is all I have. I'm gonna go recover now. I'm gonna go and try and heal and mend my heart after reading this heartbreaking story. That is all I have. Thank you for hanging out with me today. I will see you in the next video. So long.